Hi, floss tubers. This is Donna Wilson, and this is my first floss tube. So just bear with me because I'm really nervous. I really enjoyed all the floss tubers and find that I'm just getting such a thrill out of it. So I thought I'd share some of the things that I'm up to. So hopefully that lighting's better to start off with. I'll go through some of my projects. Now I have so many whips, it's absolutely nuts, and I haven't even included them all, but I'll just show you some of the current ones that I'm working on, and then I'll add up with things that I add to it, which no doubt I will, because I always do. One of them is a series of 12. Now, I picked this up, of all places, at the local hospice op shop. I'm in New Zealand, so things are a bit different here. But I picked it up from there, and it was a series of 12, and also the stand. And so this is just one of them, and this I'm just doing freehand. So you can see that and this is just a bit of this and that, and this is very relaxing, and I do this without a hoop. Okay, so if I bring it back, there it goes. And this is by let's see, that's it, Thoughts of the Month, and that's one of them, and that's what it's supposed to look like. And it's by Pattern Press. It was an Aussie one, and it's red work, and it has a iron, has a stand that you put it on, and you change it each month, and so that's quite cool. So it's the first one that I've done, so that's kind of fun, and that's my relaxing stitch. And then I have one. My dad died quite a few years ago, and I decided when my dad died that I would pick out a sampler that was like him. He was a mad hunter and fisherman. So I started this, and unfortunately, like a lot of mine, it sort of went away. So this is the, hold it still, that's as far as I am on it, and it's called the Adirondack Lodge by Con Baker Gibney, and that was by Design Works, and here's the picture of what it's supposed to look like. So that should be quite nice. So I've actually been, and that's on oh god, Aida 14 count with DMC. So the next one that I've got is a stocking, Christmas stocking. It's called Celestial Angel, and it's by Barbara Batts. Hopefully I've got it right side up. Nope, wrong side up. There goes. And that's as far, you can see that I grid, because I'm hopeless. I used to figure that with some of my designs, I rip them out about a third and then do 2/3. So, but I do get there eventually, and that should be quite nice. I have a series of, I've got 4 of them at home of these that I have not completed, so I just thought I'd start making them up. And that's on Aida, and it's by Busilla. And I started that in about 2017, so that wasn't too bad. I've got untold whips sitting in the closet and things, and I'm just terrible. This one is called, I call it the Pueblo Indians, but I think it's called Indian Artistry. It's quite a nice one, and that one's relaxing as it's got periods of things that you can, solid pieces, so it goes fairly quick. And that's the picture of that. I'm quite eclectic with my design. It's DMC. I'm pretty certain it's 14 count. And it's got DMC or equivalent, and I started that ages ago. Then I've got one of the Teresa Winsler patterns, Trade Winds, which a lot of people do. And I love her designs, but oh, the blended threads, they drive me bananas. So I'm not too far with that. But I'm starting to make some progress, and that's this lovely design. And I started that Yonks, ages ago, so that was cool. And then one that I really got not talked into. I started a prairie school ABC. I love it, love it, love it, love it. But there's just too much to do in life. So that's my meager start there. And I've done this on some linen. And I use my quilting, some of the small quilting snaps to hold it together. And that's by Prairie Schooler. And I'm going to do the whole alphabet and then fill in the extra little bits. And then I've got a chatelaine. Hubby bought this for me for Christmas. And I decided that I would start it. And I'm going to leave the beadwork till the end. So I'm not certain which is the top or bottom. But that's where I've gotten. It's Tuscany Town Mandala. So it will be lovely. And here in New Zealand, the beads are quite dear. So that took me, almost had to mortgage the house now. But it was quite expensive to get beads. And if I hold it still, you can actually see it. But these, the mandalas are just beautiful. Okay. And I started that last year. Oh, no, this year. God. And then I've got one that I absolutely love. But it's one of the long-term projects. It's the Laura Standish. Now this is the longest surviving, it's a reproduction, and it's, I'll just scan it up slowly, try and lift it up, because that's as far as I've gotten. I can't see what I'm doing. But you can see that I'm gridding, and it's over 3 stitches. And this one I absolutely love, but it's quite intense, and you really have to be very methodical doing it. And let me see. Oh, the picture fell on the floor. It's quite long, the thing, the sampler. So there's the beginning, and you can see I'm doing this section here, there, and then you flip it over, and so I'm not even halfway. And I started that one ages ago, and when I finally finish, I'll be 1005. And I'll finish it, but I'll just have to get together and just do it. It's absolutely lovely. The needlework is a variety of stitches, and it's really cool. So I enjoyed that. And then, like I said before, my dad died, and after my mom died, I got one of her samplers, one of her things to complete. She had started it ages ago. So this is what she did. Well, what we did together. I don't know which side is up and which side's down. Well, it's definitely that, not that. And it's a good combination. Unfortunately for me, the directions were gone. So I'm having to make do, and I'm doing fairly good. And this is that one. So it will be breathtaking. It's quite pretty, and daughter already wants it. It's called Something Special. It's crewel work, and it's French country bouquet picture. And it was ages ago, so I love working on it. But as you can tell, I've got other things to sort of tempt me away. And then I like doing pillowcases, embroidered pillowcases. And I've done a wide variety. So when I travel, I get these pillowcases that are pre-stamped and do some of them. And this is the current one that I'm at. This one's by Busilla, special edition. It's called Hummingbird. So this is one of them. And you see how busy it is. Now that's the current one that I'm working on. And this one's a bit further. I've only got to do the stems and the outlining on the bird. So you can see that's a lot of embroidery. To give you some idea, I'll put my hand on it. So it's quite large. It's a lot of embroidery on this one. So that'll be nice when it's finished. And that's the picture. If I hold it still, it might actually focus. Okay. And then I've got another one that I like. You know I like samplers, and you know I like long-term projects. And this was one that I was just entranced when it first came out. It's by Velma C. Belkin in South Carolina. And this is called And They Sinned. And I'm not very far on this. This is so much fun, but it's quite fine. And my frame was quite a challenge to get it to work because one of the nuts wasn't right and it kept flopping over. So this is it, and it is called And They Sinned, and hopefully, yeah, it's different, but it is fun. And you can see I'm just up there. It's a very, very long sampler. And then, to continue on, when 2000, the year 20,000 came up, the bicentennial, whatever, I went out and got a whole bunch of millennial samplers, and this is just one of them. It's a Blackwork sampler. And it's an English one. It's quite neat. I quite like it. I like Blackwork. I've done quite a few different ones over the years. And I started that, like I say, it must have been ages ago. I'm just looking it up to see, because I am keeping a little book that keeps track. I wrote it, and I know it's written in there somewhere. But that one's quite fun to do. Maybe it's after that. It's a millennium design with dates. That's all I could see, and I got rid of the box or whatever and just cut that out. So that's what it'll look like, and I'm just doing that one at this point in time. So that'll be nice when it's done. And then I dug out another one. This is an Indian one, and it's one with a whole, so I've only got the feathers to do it, the bottom, and that's quite nice. It's quite colorful. And like I say, that was one of them that was a whip that was sitting out there in Whipland. Don't know if that's focusing very good for you. That'll give you the general idea. It's Aida and some type of floss. And what's that one? That's just leftovers. And then I've been doing quilts for a while. Heaps of them. But in the meantime, I've discovered a lot's changed within the embroidery world, and sort of rediscovered it. And flosstube is just fabulous. Just love it, love it, love it. And I've discovered stitch minders. So I got that from 123stitch.com, and that's so much fun. But I've only got one, so it's quite fun to play with. I tried making them, but forget it. And I'll just show you my frame, which I absolutely love. I don't think you'll ever find it. I don't think the person's making them anymore. This is called a Neil frame, and I got it ages ago. So I've got several bits and pieces on it. And another thing that I found was that the lighting is fairly good most of the time. But I needed various types of light. So I searched and searched and searched. So I came across this one. And it clips onto my frame. And it goes from low. It's got 3 levels of lighting, which is absolutely lovely. And for me, it didn't cost me an arm and a leg. That's cheap in New Zealand, very cheap. And it charges with USB. So that was cool. So the other thing that I've done, is I'm doing the hat project that's currently on flosstube with Caroline. Or is it? I think it's Caroline. Gerald's doing it too. So I'm not very far. And I must admit that I'm not very good at knitting in the round with circular needles. They drive me bananas. So we'll see how well I do with that. So hopefully I haven't bleated on for too long. I really enjoy flosstube and find it very relaxing to do it. I found one other thing. You guys have probably heard of depression lace. It's a type of gingham embroidery, and I just thought I'd show you a little bit about it. I've gotten into this, and this is out of, I'm taking a class with the Embroidery Guild that we've got here, so I'm just starting to learn. So that's one end, and I didn't know, so I'm in the process of making it, but it's quite a challenge to do because you have to count the squares and all this, and quite fiddly. I don't know if I'll ever do another one, but it's interesting to try things that are out of your level of being comfy. The other thing that I'm going to start this year, I've made up my mind, changeable though it is, like I didn't have enough projects to start. So I'm going to do a fractional. So I don't do anything by half, so I'm going to start this one. And that's going to be towards the end of this month. And I've spent a lot of time, that's by Cross Stitch Collectibles. And it'll drive me bananas, I'm certain. But I'm trying to, at least with my projects at the moment, to do about an hour on various ones, 2 to 3 a day, and then hopefully I can keep that up for a bit and then get some of them down. So hopefully this isn't too boring, I hope not. We'll see how it goes. Happy stitching, and I hope things go really well with all of you. Like I say, we're at the bottom of the world, so this is it's nice outside. It's been raining, but bar that, the weather's not too bad, and well, I think of some of you guys covered in snow, and my heart goes out to you, but good luck. And happy stitching. I'll try and post and add on things. I haven't included all the current stitching that I'm doing, but hopefully I'll update it as I go. Take care and happy stitching, guys. Bye.